Copper. You're my very best friend.
And you're mine too, Todd.
A fox and a hound. Friends? Fact or fiction? Maybe Mother Nature can help us figure this out. Let's look at some other unlikely pairings, starting with cats and dogs.
Go on, use the dog face. This is gonna be beautiful.
Throughout history, these mortal enemies have been at odds, scratching, barking, chasing, nuzzling. Actually, it's not so far-fetched. Not that kind of fetch. Experts tell us that cats and dogs are actually social animals that love to be in groups, and when there aren't other animals around exactly like them, they tend to hang with each other.
Chill out, man. I don't eat cats. Too much fur.
And we're not just talking about your average household cats.
Psst, follow me.
In fact, in Germany, an abandoned tiger cub named Sierra was adopted by a miniature pinscher named Susie. Here's Gary Wilson, professor of animal science, to explain.
We think about dogs and cats as being enemies and not liking each other, but I've seen dogs that were just as protective over the family cat as they were over the rest of the members of the family.
Who's going to save that cat?
Me.
Who? Tell me who!
Me.
I'll get my ball. So, cats and dogs, always fierce foes? Fiction.
You're okay for a cat.
Okay, how about some other unlikely animal friends? Take a rat, for instance. Which animal do you think is least likely to be its friend? A turtle, a lizard, a cat, or a squirrel?
Squirrel!
If you guess cat, you're right. You'd think a cat would be more likely to see a rat as food instead of a friend. Well, in this case, these rats and this cat have been raised together in the same household and have grown to be friends. How can this be?
If a little baby animal shows up on the doorstep of this predator where it normally wouldn't be hunting, it may not recognize it as something to eat, and those nurturing instincts of it kick in and it takes care of it instead.
So an animal's natural-born instincts are more powerful than being raised together? Fiction! It seems that there are plenty of animals that are actually unlikely friends. In the movies, you've got your meerkats and warthogs, elephants and mice, caterpillars and ants.
From way up here, you all look like little ants!
Gorillas and elephants, fish and seagulls, bears and panthers, and even sharks and fish.
Fish are friends, not food.
One way to explain these odd couples is through something called symbiosis.
Simba?
Not symbiosis, symbiosis.
You know, you're really cute, but I don't know what you're saying.
We also see symbiotic relationships in nature, and this is where two different species sort of work together for mutual benefit. It's like you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
I can't believe my eyes.
Those were some pretty unusual pairings, but let's try and think of some other ones.
Hey, I think I got an idea.
How about a zebra? Would you pair him with a crocodile? An ostrich? A frog? If you said ostrich, you'd be right on. They help each other to stay safe. Ostriches have a poor sense of smell compared to zebras who can smell almost anything. But zebras can't see nearly as well as ostriches, so if they stay together, they can warn each other of danger. It's sort of like a mutual alarm system.
Run for your lives! Everyone run for cover!
Here's another one. How about the colorful and cheerful clownfish? They're friends with...
Okay, don't hurt yourself.
Yes, they have a symbiotic relationship with sea anemones. Sea anemones are poisonous, but the clownfish can produce a protective coating that acts like armor and keeps them from getting stung, which allows them to live and hide in the anemone. The anemone protects them from predators, and the clownfish attracts fish for the anemone. It's like fish in a barrel.
You know, for a clownfish, he really isn't that funny.
It's not always about symbiotic relationships. Sometimes friendships just happen.
Welcome aboard, folks. Fasten your seatbelts, sit back, and leave the driving to me.
Every minute spent in your company becomes the new greatest minute of my life.
Friendships like these make for great stories, like the story of Owen and Mazet. In the winter of 2004, a baby hippo named Owen was separated from his family during a tsunami that hit the African coast. After rescuers found him, they placed him in a nature park for his protection. The park was also home to a 130-year-old tortoise named Mzee, which means wise old man in Swahili. Then something amazing happened. The two bonded and began to eat, sleep, swim, and play together. They even developed ways to communicate. Owen and Mzee have become a very unlikely family. So animals from different species can never form a family? Fiction! Just goes to show you never know who will become your best friend. So it's clear that animals of a different kind can get along. But what about the fox and the hound? Well, believe it or not, they are actually from the same family. And the name of that family? The Canidae family! No, not Canada, Canidae. The Canidae family includes wolves, foxes, and dogs.
Well, you know, my ancestry isn't all hamster. I'm 1/16 wolf with a little wolverine in there somewhere.
The term dog usually refers to the tame and domesticated pets that we know and love, but it is actually used for any animal in the Canidae family. In fact, male foxes are also called dogs.
That ain't right. Grits ain't groceries.
So, what have we discovered? Well, it doesn't matter whether they're big or small, have fur or feathers, or are old or young. Animals not only can help each other, but they can also form long-lasting relationships throughout nature. So a fox and a hound can be friends. Fact.
And we'll always be friends forever, won't we?
Yeah, forever.